Hello students, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to discuss suspensions. What are suspension in solution? And we have already discussed saturated, unsaturated and supersaturated solution. Now the topic is suspension. Now start with suspension.
Solution. The solute present is more than in the saturated solution.
Okay,
Even a slight disturbance will make the solute
that is
precipitate
supersaturated
out
solution.
and you will be left with a saturated solution. Therefore, we can classify a solution as saturated, unsaturated, or supersaturated, depending on the amount of solute present in the solution.
Amount of solute present in the solution.
Solubility can be defined as the maximum amount of solute by weight in grams dissolved in 100 grams of solvent at constant temperature. For instance, at 20 degrees centigrade, a maximum of 36 grams of common salt can be dissolved in 100 grams of water. So the solubility of copper...
Solubility का हमेशा मतलब होता है, solubility means that maximum amount of any substance that can be dissolved in 100 quantity of the water, right? तो solubility का simply मतलब होगा कि 100 ml या 100 ग्राम में 100 ग्राम वाटर में जितना मैक्सिमम अमाउंट किसी भी सब्सटेंस का डिजोल्व कर सकते हैं वो उस सब्सटेंस की सॉल्युबिलिटी कही जाएगी. ओके, यानी कि मैक्सिमम अमाउंट कितना डाल सकते हैं. तो अभी आपने देखा 36 ग्राम सॉल्ट पूरी तरह से डिजोल्व हो सकता है 100 ग्राम वाटर में. इसका मतलब सॉल्युबल हो जाएगा. याद रखेंगे, सॉल्युबल मतलब पूरी तरह से सॉल्व हो जाए, पूरी दिखाई भी ना पड़े सॉल्ट उसमें कहाँ है. तो मैक्सिमम 36 ग्राम वाटर सॉल्ट ही डिजोल्व हो पाएगा 100 ग्राम वाटर में. तो यानी कि क्या कहा जाएगा, अब मैं अगर पूछूं कि व्हाट इज द सॉल्युबिलिटी ऑफ सॉल्ट सोडियम क्लोराइड, तो क्या कहोगे 36 ग्राम. बस 36 ग्राम बोल दिया, इसका मतलब 36 ग्राम होगा किससे में 100 ग्राम वाटर में डिजोल्व हो सकता है, इससे ऊपर नहीं. नाउ
salt is 36 grams at 20 degrees centigrade.
टेम्परेचर इज स्टैंडर्ड.
A suspension is a heterogeneous mixture in
Normal
which
temperature.
the solute particles do not dissolve and remain suspended throughout the solvent. The solute particles can be seen with the naked eye.
Uh-huh. So that's why when I added chalk powder to the beaker of water, it didn't dissolve.
Yes.
Exactly. The mixture of chalk powder and water is an example of a suspension. Other examples of suspensions include milk of magnesia, sand in water, and flour in water. A suspension is a heterogeneous mixture. The particles of a suspension are quite large, and they scatter a beam of light passing through the suspension and makes its path visible. A suspension is unstable. When a suspension is left undisturbed, its solute particles settle down at the bottom of the container. The solute in a suspension can be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration.
Let me try a new trick. I'll put some ink into this glass of water. Then I'll pass a ray of light through the glass. I've become a magician at last.
Yes.
A mixture of ink and water is an example of a colloid.
See the concept of colloid. You have seen saturated solution, unsaturated solutions, supersaturated solutions, and suspension. Now what are colloids? See carefully.
Since its particles are smaller in size than those of a suspension, a colloid seems to be homogeneous.
Homogeneous means
However, a colloid is
miscible.
actually a heterogeneous mixture. The particles of a colloid are very small and cannot be seen with the naked eye. The particles in a colloid do not settle down when left undisturbed. This shows the stable nature of the colloid. Colloids can scatter a beam of light and make its path visible. Particles in a colloid cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. A colloidal solution has two components, the dispersed phase and the dispersing medium.
Note down the concept.
The solute.
Note down the entire properties of the colloid. These are the properties of colloid. You may be asked in the examination as well. And these are basically the notes. You can write down all the properties of colloids.
One component or the dispersed particles in a colloid form the dispersed phase.
Colloidal means what? Colloid means there is a solution. Of course, it's a solution. Colloidal solution. And one is dispersion medium and one is dispersed phase. One is medium and another is phase. The medium is what? The having maximum amount, and phase is what? Which is going to be dissolved.
The component in which the dispersed phase is suspended is known as the dispersing medium.
Right?
You can classify a colloid according to the state of the dispersing medium and the dispersed phase.
Now these are the
There can be
colloids.
many types of colloids.
Write down this
The
chart.
table shows you examples of colloids based on their dispersed phase, dispersing medium, and type.
So from today you will see what is milk is, what kind of milk colloidal is, right? And milk comes in which category of the colloid. That means it's a kind of emulsion. So these are all the colloidal solutions. These are given. Okay. So milk is kind of emulsion. Why it is emulsion? Because it is a kind of liquid in liquid, right? Liquid is dispersed in liquid. And how is that so? Fat is dispersed in water. That is why it is called emulsion. Okay? Liquid means fat is in liquid form. That means you can say the shaving cream, gas in liquid medium. It means dispersed phase. So these are the suspended particles and these are the medium. These are the medium and these are the suspended particles. The dispersed phase is what? They're suspending over the dispersion medium. Okay, to write down the entire sequence.
An aerosol is a colloid in which the dispersed phase is a solid or liquid and the dispersing medium is a gas. Smoke and automobile exhausts are aerosols in which solid carbon particles are dispersed in air. Fog, clouds, and mist are aerosols in which water is dispersed in air. Foam is a colloid in which a gas is the dispersed phase and a liquid is the dispersing medium. Shaving cream is an example of foam in which air is dispersed in water or alcohol. Solid foam is a colloid in which a gas is the dispersed phase and a solid is the dispersing medium. Foam rubber, sponge, and pumice stone are examples of solid foam. In foam rubber, the dispersed phase is air and the dispersing medium is rubber. An emulsion is a colloidal system in which both the dispersed phase and the dispersing medium are liquids. The liquid, which is the dispersed phase, is not miscible with the liquid, that is, the dispersing medium. Milk is an emulsion in which the dispersed phase is liquid fat and the dispersing medium is water. Face cream and cod liver oil are other examples of emulsions. A sol is a colloidal system in which a solid is the dispersed phase and a liquid is the dispersing medium.
Dispersing
Starch
mean
solution
what?
is a sol in which starch
Dissolving.
is the dispersed phase
Suspending.
and water is the dispersing medium. Other examples of sols are gold sol, milk of magnesia, and mud. A solid sol is a colloid in which both the dispersed phase and the dispersing medium are solids. Ruby glass is a solid sol in which gold is dispersed in glass. A gel is a colloidal system that contains a liquid as the dispersed phase and a
So
solid
butter,
as
cheese,
the
curd,
dispersing
these
medium.
are kind of gel.
Jelly is a colloid of water dispersed in gelatin. Curd, cheese, and butter are all gels.
Gel, right?
When a fine beam of light has passed through a colloidal solution,